On the Fringe with Dan radio style. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. Elon Musk is pissing them off so badly right now. He is digging up a lot of information. I've got a very interesting story that I think kind of helps us understand what's likely happening. I think it's written kind of as a fiction, if you will, but it seems to be written by somebody that kind of knows how this kind of game is played. I'm going to say it like that just to make it easy. We've also got incredible stuff going on with the amount of bad experiences that Doge is exposing. Deep State's losing their shizzle. Kennedy calling them out. Senator Kennedy calling them out straight to their face. I'm going to play that. I'm going to play it kind of somewhat accelerated speed. So those of you that watch my show sped up, you're probably going to want to slow it down a little at that point. Otherwise, whatever. But I think what Kennedy says and the whole segment of it is actually huge. Let's hop into it because I got a lot. It's reasonably. There's no way if I didn't do a Saturday show this week, I would seriously would have been like a 3-hour show on Sunday. We don't want to do that to you guys. That's not cool. This was just a funny little meme that's around right now, right? U.S. Agency for International Development and the infamous Ocasio-Cortez in there doing her thing, right? Like that's always funny. We've got Elon Musk's Trump bromance going on. This actually seems like stuff's gotten improved. How odd is this? This one cracks me up because I kind of like the bromance thing. Some that follow my show closely know that sometimes with Alpha I get a little weird. So I appreciate this, and it's weird for dudes, like for a lot of us. Anyway, I'm not speaking for everybody, right? Because, screw that, man. But, like, I don't know. There's just, it's sort of uncomfortable for us to, have feelings for each other because we just, like, want to instantly just go gay, right? Like, it's just how we're wired from our programming. So breaking that is funny and hard, and this is sort of, I think, working towards that. It still cracks my eyes. But if you can't watch this, I'm going to do my best to describe it to you. So the first, there's 6 images. There's 3 of Musk, 3 of Trump. One of them, top one, first Musk is like saying this to Trump. He's like, close your eyes, bro. And Trump is like, okay, bro. And then Elon Musk's like, what do you see, bro? And Trump's like, nothing, bro. And then finally, that's my world without you, bro. And Trump turns his head with his eyes open and looks in the other direction and goes, bro. Okay, shut up. Maybe it was too close to the truth. I don't know. All right, so I only put the story here because I think it's a good idea just to remind me that there's the Super Bowl coming. Super Bowl is kind of a crazy thing happening that I didn't realize until I saw this next video that I'm about to share. This one related to this. Elon Musk bought 3 ads for the Super Bowl. Oh yeah, you're going to be watching, aren't you?
Imagine saying the richest man in the world needs your credit card information with your bad credit having ass. You got terrible credit. Fuck you need your information for? Fuck you need your mama all $1,200 a month social security for? He's the richest man in the fucking world. This is the reason why Elon just took $5 million out of his own money to run 3 ads in the Super Bowl to tell you how your money been spent these last couple years. I can't wait to see that fucking Super Bowl commercial. I'm watching the entire Super Bowl commercial with a piss cup on side of me. I'm not missing nothing. I have to see them commercials, man. Oh man, when they just exposed them on national TV, exactly what they. But a lot of people gonna take that for whatever it is. But imagine you're so stupid that you think the fucking richest man on the earth, who will never get a chance to spend his money, needs your social security information. You stupid, retarded motherfuckers.
I mean, some might say that's a little aggressive. I think it's funny because there's kind of a little bit of me that feels that same way. But yeah, $500 million of his own money. That's putting your money where your mouth is. Some bad news with the wreckage of the missing Bering airplane found 34 miles southeast of Nome, Alaska. We talked about it yesterday. Unfortunately, of the 10 people, first I think they found 3 of them, or missing 7, but ultimately they found all 10. They didn't get into the specifics of whether or not they seemed to have wandered off or if they got scattered. The crash, we can go back to the picture, but the crash is pretty extreme. Kind of looks flattened in some degrees. I don't know what happened again. This isn't like we even tried to land, probably. Like, this isn't a tumble. It doesn't look like anyway. It looks kind of like they hit hard. And I don't know. Maybe it's just shit landing. Whatever the case is. Very, very sad. But what the weirder part is there's multiple crashes happening right now. So within a short number of hours, there was a crash in Sao Paulo, Brazil, a crash in the Philippines, and Alaska. I don't know if people are being offed, which is very possible. Because who else would be in a small plane heading in from some weird remote location? Maybe somebody working at some sort of special facility. Again, who knows what's going on right now, but there is some weird aircraft crashes happening. Now, Sao Paulo, I don't know if we have any sort of military presence there. I doubt it. But the other two places we for sure do. So I don't know what's going on right now. Sao Paulo, obviously Brazil, having all sorts of issues. Coming to find out that Gavin Newsom is actually worse than we already realized he is. I mean, I think are starting to come to the conclusion he's horrible, but he is actually now talking about this volunteerish. I don't know. They came in cheap or whatever. There was this small misfits that he last year gave them an award for being so highly regarded, so incredible, so well trained, all that. He's now firing them because they're not well trained. I think he was trying to close a gap because there was a funding problem. So that was a big part of why they say that some of this fire didn't happen, was because this group of people weren't able to help. I don't know. You got the experts. You need experts when you got big fires, right? So Gavin Newsom, seeming to try to distance himself from that, is once again stepped on a landmine and blown off the, I guess, other leg. It's kind of funny. Couple wonderful reasons to live in Los Angeles. This happened yesterday or today, one of the two. It's an individual at an ICE rally. People with Mexican flags and, stuff. No American flags in there at all, are there? Well, I don't know if that guy had one, but he just got stomped. That's not cool at all, but this is what's happening right now in Los Angeles. Same situation. We had a teenage boy was stabbed in Los Angeles during another rally. We're going to have some issues. The military are going to be the only way through this. Looks like California gets to start first, which is kind of cool to a degree because we're so effed up. It's almost like, all right, there's a small selfish side of me that's like, we get to go through it first, which means we get to start healing sooner. And some of you guys are going to follow in right behind us, I'm sure. But every one of us has our jacked up states. So powerful stuff going in the big picture. He's got stabbed. It's very sad. I don't even want to spend more time on that. Prince Harry can breathe freely now. Yeah, Donald Trump was asked if they wanted to kick him to the curb as far as his immigration. There's a thing going on against him legally because he might have not been honest on his, application because he's probably done drugs or something. Trump said, I'm gonna let him. His life's tough enough. He's got enough problems with his wife. He literally said it. He's got enough problems with his wife. I don't know what he said before exactly and after, but still funny as hell. Want to remind you guys, of course, of DRSlikesgold.com. DRSlikesgold.com. Let's get the names solid. DRSlikesgold.com. We've got a lot of craziness going on in the world right now, and I think it's something we should consider thinking about, right? Deep states kind of falling down, deep states collapsing, dollars literally lost 20% of its value during the Biden administration is what Kennedy's talking about anyway, so those are their official numbers. I think I've heard 25%. We know that this system is wobbling. This top is not looking good. We know that precious metals are spiking. They've gone up tremendously over the short period of time. My little piece here that I've been holding on to for, 2-3 years. I don't even know how long it's been at this point. It's been 3 years, I guess, probably at this point. This is 1 ounce. It's a coin. I think I bought it around 18. Gold's at 28.6 to 29 almost right now. It's literally gone up $1,000 in like 3 years. Stuff's getting crazy. you don't want to wait until all those numbers don't work to your advantage. You want to use it to the best of your advantage, right? So diversify. You're in a place right now, you can still keep some stuff there. You don't want to lose that. It's still going to be there. And even if your employer is still pumping money into it, you don't have to get all crazy like that. But there's a way to move things over tax-free and penalty-free. There's a way to help yourself move out of their system into a precious metal system. Now, again, my good friends at Goldco, and I am a partner. I'm proud to be a partner, helping the channel, of course. But they are not into like all the crazy crap I talk about. They are all about helping you move from one place to another, do it tax-free, penalty-free if applicable. I think it usually is, but there might be an age thing in there. But they're going to help you through all these processes, answer all your questions. They're going to do it in the most lovely way. They've got like DocuSign and stuff if you want to move quickly. They've got the ability to move this along, and they've got a number of suppliers. They've got the highest price back guarantee. They've got 5-star ratings all over the place. They are literally awesome as heck. 4 data points. Go to drslikesgold.com, drslikesgold.com. Diversify, get out of their system. If you also just want to buy some precious metals yourself, hit them up. I've got a lot of suppliers, a lot of cool stuff. Go to drslikesgold.com, drslikesgold.com. Take advantage of everything right now, frankly, because things are winding down in a weird way, and we don't want to be stuck in the past. All right, so this is fun. This is Senator Warren, January 30th, 2025. This is how she feels about things. There is nothing, this is a quote, there is nothing in the Constitution that says ordinary Americans have a right to see what we're spending tax dollars on, end quote. Here is her in 2009, obviously a number of years before, so please forgive the fact that she somehow got uglier when she was younger. I don't know if it works that way, but Mandela effect. I don't know what happened to Pocahontas, but she looks so much more Quaker than anything else.
I was talking to someone who spent many years as a prosecutor, and he said, when that much money disappears, it's usually because somebody broke some laws somewhere. But if we don't look, if we don't ask, if we don't uncover it and make it all public, we'll never find out.
Where is the criminal investigation that needs to happen here?
I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I just haven't seen it at all. What the government didn't do is it didn't turn around and say, you lost how much money and you wiped out how many pensions and you wiped out how many jobs. I want to know who did what, whether or not any laws were violated, where the gaps are in the system that would permit this to happen. I want to hold somebody responsible. Responsibility is not just about blame. Responsibility is about making sure we fix this and it will not happen again.
Kind of almost weird when you think about, she just literally, recently just said, there is nothing in the Constitution that says ordinary Americans have a right to see what we're spending tax dollars on. It's funny how your opinion changes once you start making millions of dollars, doesn't it? How funny is that? Donald J. Trump truthed this out. USAID is driving the radical left crazy, and there's nothing they can do about it because of the way in which the money has been spent. So much of it fraudulently is totally unexplainable. The corruption is at levels rarely seen before. Close it down. And Elon Musk is like, yes, sir. Ron Paul posted this. Elon Musk saying 100%, but Ron Paul posted, a look behind the curtain has revealed a horrific truth. Nearly the entire mainstream media worldwide has been funded by the U.S. government under the USAID, from the BBC to the New York Times and Politico. At this point, it might be easier to find out who USAID has not funded in the media sphere. Yeah, no shizzle. Another funny post. 4 people screaming the loudest that maybe need to just sit down and wait for the arrests. We should turn the camera on at least every once in a while. I'll grab that. We got Schumer, Omar, right? All these guys. No one elected Elon, right? Is what they're screaming. But it's funny, is a lot of us have been screaming for a while. Nobody elected Anthony Fauci, George Soros, Bill Gates, Hunter Biden, Amos Hochstein, and Yi Jinping. None of us voted for any of these people. Yet, there they were. And no one elected Kamala Harris as Democratic candidate for the president either. So, yeah, sit down, be quiet, shush. Especially you, Pocahontas, because you keep flip-flopping. 19 Democratic attorneys have sued President Trump on Friday to stop Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency from accessing Treasury Department records that contain sensitive material. I want to explain something to you really quick, and this individual, I want to give them a huge plug because they're way worth it. EKO.substack.com. Go check it out. Override is the article. It's a very good article. I'm not going to read the whole damn thing to you. I did read it myself. I thought it was really good. Found it to be very good. But what he talks about, and I think he writes in somewhat of a fiction, so please don't take this. I don't think this individual is directly tied, but I think this is an individual that definitely knows their stuff and is telling us what most likely is happening. And Doge has created these algorithms that are capable of working at lightning speed to map everything. You've got people, especially this big balls guy, you've got people that were able to hack back in the day, and I'll 100% guarantee that's what Big Balls was, or whatever. He was capable. I don't want to get in trouble, right? But he was capable of doing stuff. I'm sure has impressed others with his abilities at some point or another. And so this guy was able to devise, like you see in the movies, a cool little app that probably is done on a thumb drive or something like that. We're just going to download a couple things. Here's some documents. Okay. And there it goes. Kind of like what McAfee was doing to the government when he was giving laptops for them to use, and they all had spyware on it. It's not that they put spyware on the computer, but it was that they were very immediately able to map the Treasury. So these people used USAID to pay LLC $500 million. Then Company A paid Company B $500 million. Company B paid Company C $500 million. Company C paid Company D $500 million. And then Company D donated $500 million to Chuck Schumer or whatever. I'm just making up an example here, but this is how the game played. And the deep state is always, there's too many LLCs. There's no way you'll ever capture me. It would take people months and years to find it. Suckers. But they never understood somebody like Doge or somebody like Musk or somebody like Big Balls and what they'd be capable of creating and how quickly it could work. And apparently, or suggested to us here, posited, one might say, we are thinking that they might have mapped the entire Treasury, all of it, all the points, all the hops, within seconds. Seconds. Their CrowdStrike or whatever wouldn't have caught it. It would have happened too quickly. It would have done way too much. It literally would have found and mapped way too much data. Now, seconds, however that works out, but it would have been, it's just, again, just taking snapshots of structure, of file names, and they got more than that, I'm sure. So this whole idea where they come in after the effect is, we've got to stop you. It's too late. We already got what we needed. That's why we're talking about it. We already know who paid and where they paid. And you guys are trying to stop that, and it's already been pulled. Just done. Okay, we won't go back. You win. We already got it. Who cares? President Trump just implied Doge will develop an algorithm to identify Social Security numbers that are being used by illegal aliens and by immigrants who are illegally enrolled in Social Security programs. Quote, those people will have to be weeded out, end quote. Added that many of them are in California. Again, we get to be at the top of the list. I love it. Make California great again. This is Kennedy's speech. I'm going to hop into it. It's very long, but it's incredibly good, I think. And I hope you guys agree with me on that because I do think it's worth it. Again, I'm going to kick it up to 1.25 speed because I do also think that helps. And it's already, I think, recorded at higher speed, so God knows how long this damn speech really was. But it's beautiful. Please check it out because he's actually the only person, at least in the Senate right now, that's saying what needs to be said. He's the only one. And he's even calling out his colleagues for being the only one.
I want to try to put in perspective what many of my Democratic friends have been talking about today. They're very, very, very upset at President Trump. And they're very, very, very upset at Elon Musk. President Trump ran for president on a number of issues. One of the issues he ran on, he said it almost every day. He said, if you elect me president, I'm going to go through the entire budget and review all the spending, line by line. If I heard him say that once, I heard him say it 1,000 times. And that's what he's been doing. He went out and appointed, through an executive order, Elon Musk, who some people like him, some don't, but he's not a dummy. He's a very successful business person. He's got a top secret security clearance. President Trump issued an executive order, and he turned to Mr. Musk, and he said, Mr. Musk, I want you to do for me what I said I was going to do in the election. I want you to go through all the spending, line by line. Now, let me ask you something, Mr. President. How are you going to review the spending without reviewing the spending? How are you going to audit the spending by an agency without auditing the agency? That's what I mean when I say common sense is illegal in Washington, D.C. That's what Mr. Musk is doing. He's put together a crackerjack team, and they're going through everybody's spending line by line, item by item. And my Democratic colleagues are very, very, very upset. And they've been very eloquent. They've talked about the process, and President Trump's executive order supposedly violates the Constitution. And they've accused Mr. Musk of having conflicts of interest. And so I've heard people say he's sitting over there with a notepad, copying down everybody's Social Security number, and he's going to go use it to make money. I mean, people in this town, not just my Democratic colleagues, they're really upset. They've never said anybody question their spending. But that's what Mr. Musk is doing. But, you know, I've listened. This has been going on for a week. People have been screaming like they're part of a prison riot. Oh, my God, look at what Musk is doing. He's looking at the spending. And I've listened to people talk about the process and debate whether it's constitutional and discuss how many lawyers can dance on the head of a pin. But you know what? I haven't heard one single person who's upset with President Trump or Mr. Musk talk about what he's found. They don't want to talk about the spending porn, the waste of taxpayer money that he's found. I mean, that's the point of all this. I tell you who is interested, the American people, the people in America who get up every day and go to work and obey the law and pay their taxes and try to educate their kids and try to do the right thing by their kids and try to save a little money for retirement and have had to live through 20% inflation under President Biden. They understand what Musk is doing. They understand spending porn and wasting taxpayer money. Now, Mr. Musk started with the USAID. That handles a lot of foreign aid for America. American people are very generous. In our country, you know, when you're homeless, we'll house you. When you're hungry, we'll feed you. In our country, when you're too poor to be sick, we'll pay for your doctor. And we send a lot of money overseas to help our world's neighbors. And the USAID is in charge, in large part, of that. But I'll tell you what Mr. Musk discovered. I found it fascinating. He discovered that the American taxpayers are giving money to Afghanistan. He found that we are giving money to Yemen. He found that we are giving money to Syria. I didn't know that. Some of our foreign aid is going to Yemen, Afghanistan, Syria. He found that the USAID has 10,000 people, employees. And every year they give away $40 billion. Mr. Musk also found, and I'm not saying that all of this money is wasteful. I'm not. Some of this money, I'm sure, does some good. That's why Secretary Rubio is going to revamp the department to separate the good from the bad. But this is the kind of stuff Mr. Musk found. He found that the USAID gave money to support electric vehicles in Vietnam. Our money, taxpayer money. He found that USAID gave money to a transgender clinic in India. I didn't know that. I bet you the American people didn't know that. He found that the USAID gave $1.5 million to a Serbian LGBTQ group called Grupa Izladaji. I probably mispronounced that. My apologies. Anyway, they got $1.5 million to, quote, advance diversity, equity, inclusion in Serbia's workplaces and business community. What else did Mr. Musk found that my colleagues don't want to talk about? Well, he reviewed a study and then went and checked it. The study was done by the Middle East Forum. They found that USAID spent $164 million to support radical organizations around the world. We're not talking Cub Scout troops here. We're talking about radical organizations around the world. They gave $122 million of that to groups aligned with foreign terrorist organizations. Our taxpayer money. According to this report in Mr. Musk, the USAID has given millions of dollars to, quote, organizations in Gaza controlled by Hamas. Why aren't my colleagues talking about that? Recipients of the money, they found, have, quote, called for their lands to be cleansed from the impurity of Jews. That's what we're giving foreign aid to. What else? I'm not going to spend my whole time talking about this, but nobody else is talking about it. They're just talking about the process. And Mr. Musk, and he's a mean guy, and he shouldn't be looking at our spending. Well, he is. And I kind of find what he's found out interesting. He found that we gave $2 million, USAID did, for sex changes in Guatemala. He found that we gave $20 million to produce a new Sesame Street show in Iraq. He found that we gave $4.5 million of taxpayer money to combat disinformation in Kazakhstan. He found that we gave $10 million, USAID did, of meals to an al-Qaeda-linked terrorist group called the Nusra Front. Mr. Musk found that we gave $7.9 million of taxpayer money to a project that would teach Sri Lankan journalists to avoid binary gendered language. The USAID took $8 million and gave it to a bunch of journalists in Sri Lanka to teach them how to avoid binary gendered language. I don't know what the hell binary gendered language is. I think I do. You think most taxpayers would support that? Why are we talking about that? The USAID gave $1.5 million to promote LGBT advocacy in Jamaica. They gave $1.5 million to rebuild the Cuban media ecosystem. They gave $1.5 million for, quote, art for inclusion of people with disabilities in Belarus. Another $3.9 million for LGBT causes in Macedonia. $8.3 million for equity and inclusion education in Nepal. I could go all night. And many of my colleagues are upset. They're really mad at Mr. Musk. Hell, I think we ought to give him a medal. All he's doing is what President Trump said he was going to do. President Trump said he's going to audit the spending. So Trump goes and hires Musk, again with a top secret security clearance. Nobody can quibble with his intelligence. You know, the guy's as smart as Einstein's cousin. He's a very successful businessman. Some say he's the richest guy in the world. And he's doing the auditing. And, man, he's finding a lot of stuff. I call it spending porn. Now, I'm not saying everything that USAID does is wasted, but I'm saying a lot of it is. A hell of a lot of it is. And we ought to be on the floor of this United States Senate thanking Mr. Musk. And we ought to be asking him to go through every agency and look at everybody's budget. Everybody's budget. That's what the American people want. They don't want to talk about process. They don't want to continue with the Washington way. They want to save some money. Now, let me tell you what's really going on here, too, Mr. President. For 4 years under President Biden, and for, 8 years under President Obama, I have all the respect in the world for President Biden and President Obama. Tough job. But between them, they spent 12 years in Washington, and presidents set the tone. They control the questions that are asked. And here's the question that President Obama and President Biden asked for 8 years. For 12 years. I heard it every single day. Who needs to pay more in taxes? Is it you? Is it you? Who needs to pay more in taxes? We need more money. Who needs to pony up more? That was the issue. But that's not the issue today. We have a new president. You know what the issue is today? What the hell happened to all the money? What the hell happened to all the money? And that's what Mr. Musk is finding out. That's all this is about. And I'm just shocked that my colleagues have decided that this is a hill they're going to die on. How can you look the American people in the eye and support this kind of waste, support this kind of spending porn? I mean, the election to me made at least one thing clear, that the American people are sick and tired of people in Washington denying reality. The last administration tried to convince us that we were living in a crime-free world where inflation was temporary and the border was secure. And the American people didn't buy it. You know why? Because it wasn't true. And the administration, our last administration, tried to argue that Bidenomics was making our lives better. But the American people knew differently. They understood Bidenomics to mean I get to spend more to live worse. And they voted. Now, I mean, the American people were poorer under the last administration, but they didn't become stupid. They could see that the government was creating a problem, not trying to fix it. And they noticed the national debt, too. Put up that first chart for me. You know what our national debt is, Mr. President? $36 trillion. Not million, not billion, $36 trillion. It takes my breath away. Highest it's ever been, over 100% of our gross domestic product. Our debt's growing faster than our economy. And we toss around these numbers, a trillion, a billion, a million. Since 2019, America's population has grown 2%. We're not having babies, 2%. And that's after massive immigration. You know how much our budget has grown? 55%. 55%. Yeah, we've had inflation, but we haven't had 55% worth of inflation. That's how we got to this $36 trillion in debt. Put up the next chart for me. Now, some of this money we had to spend during the pandemic. And it was a bipartisan effort during the pandemic. Republicans voted for it, and Democrats voted for it because we had no choice. I was there. I saw it from the inside. We came this close to losing the American economy. And you know who helped a lot, doesn't get enough credit? Jay Powell at the Federal Reserve. I watched it. The whole world wanted to go into a cave and retreat. Back in the Great Recession, I remember all the other countries in the world who looked to us. They may hate us, but they know we're the greatest country in all of human history. They looked to America. And you know what? Back in the Great Recession, all the other countries wanted they wanted treasuries, treasury notes, treasury bonds. Not this time. They were so scared. They didn't want treasuries. They wanted dollars, cash dollars. So Jay Powell, thank the Lord, he goes over to the Federal Reserve. He opens what's called a currency swap line, and he told every country, you want dollars? I'll trade your dollars for your currency. And everything calmed down. He doesn't get any credit for that, but it was a gutsy thing to do. But on top of that, to save the American economy, that wasn't helping the American economy. We had to keep the economy going. We spent a lot of money. But then COVID ended, and what we should have done was go back to pre-COVID spending. But we didn't do that. President Biden, after the shutdowns and the coronavirus, the pandemic was over, passed the American Rescue Plan. COVID was over. He spent $1.9 trillion. Never let a good crisis go to waste. I didn't vote for it. Then he came back and passed what he called an infrastructure bill. It was really just the Green New Deal. I know what's in that bill. That was another $1.2 trillion. And then he passed the Inflation Reduction Act. I didn't vote for it, but that was another $1.0 trillion. And then he passed the CHIPS Act. This is really special. He said, big tech, the semiconductor companies need our money. They need taxpayer money. They're not making enough money. And he gave them money. He didn't give hardware stores money. President Biden didn't give the healthcare industry money. He said, I want to help big tech. And boy, they sucked it up like a Hoover Deluxe. We spent $280 billion subsidizing big tech. And you add it all up, and that's $4.3, almost $4.5 trillion. And that's how we got $36 trillion in debt. And that's why Donald Trump said, I'm going to look at every single line item of spending. And that's why he gave the job to Elon Musk. And that's why Musk is auditing these accounts. But nobody wants to talk about what he's finding. Nobody wants to talk about the spending porn, except the American people. They get it, Mr. President. They get it. And I hope Mr. Musk continues. My colleague and friend, we had a little discussion in banking today. Senator Warner makes a good point. He wants Mr. Musk to come over and talk to Congress about how he's doing this. I'm all for that. I am all for that. I would love to have him come over and walk us through what he's doing and how he's discovering all this spending porn. We need all the help we can get on reducing our spending because we can't continue at this pace. I just want to spend a few minutes putting all this in perspective, Mr. President. The world's not going to spin off its axis, folks. Every business that I know of goes through an audit. Now we're being audited, but we're being audited by not by the usual auditors, but we're being audited by a person appointed by the President of the United States. And I'm betting you when he's through, and he's going to go to all these agencies. He's starting on the Department of Education next. I think he'll end up finding that some of our money is being well spent, but he's also going to find that some of our money is being stolen and it's being wasted. And that's an insult to every taxpayer in this country. So I'm going to end like I began. We ought to be giving Mr. Musk a medal. We ought to be thanking him. Maybe nobody else wants to hear about the spending porn, but I can't wait to read the book. I hope he finds all of it and compiles it. I hope Marco Rubio, our new Secretary of State, takes USAID and shakes them by the shoulder and lifts up the good people there and fires the bad people, the people that wasted taxpayer money like this, giving money to terrorist organizations, giving money to organizations that support Hamas. Hope he gets rid of every single one of them. And I think if we listen to Mr. Musk, we can save a lot of money. And I hope he does come over and explain what he's doing.
I love it. Love it. Kennedy's just killing it the way he should be. Now, Trump was asked about Doge's access to Treasury Department's vast federal payment system. Again, of course, Musk has top secret clearance because he's involved with the government doing a SpaceX for the Starlink for military. So he's got access. He's already cleared to a large extent. So they're having a really hard time with stuff that's probably legally not going to fly.
Democratic lawmakers are really upset that Doge engineers have access to these Treasury payment systems. The Senate Intel panel wrote a letter to Susie Wiles. They're saying that these systems are used to disperse trillions of dollars each year and contain everyday Americans' personal information like social security numbers, home addresses, bank accounts. Why does Doge need all of that stuff?
Well, it doesn't, but they get it very easily. I mean, we don't have very good security in our country, and they get it very easily. And what we're doing, if you look at what has just taken place with respect to some of the investments that have been made on another agency that people have been talking about for years, but nobody did anything about it, it's absolutely obscene, dangerous, bad, very costly. I mean, virtually every investment made is a con job. There's nothing of value to anybody unless there's a kickback scheme going on, which is possible. And we're going to be doing more and more of that. We're going to be looking at Department of Education. We're going to be looking at even our military. We're going to be looking at tremendous amounts of money, Peter, being spent on things that bear no relationship to anything and have no value.
I love the way he hints at stuff, unless there's, a kickback. And he's not accusing. It was kind of like what he did with the crash, right? Unless the DEI was involved. And then he got into, the whole thing with the air traffic controllers and how DEI was affecting the hiring practices there. We are, again, just getting the tip of the iceberg. And I think Trump has been doing a pretty good job making sure we understand. Here is where Trump is basically to everybody saying Pentagon's next.
Quickly to follow up on what Peter was asking, have you directed Elon Musk to review Pentagon spending, given it's the biggest discretionary spending in the federal budget?
Yes, I have Pentagon, education, just about everything. We're going to go through everything, just as it was so bad with what we just went through with this horrible situation we just went through. And I guess 97% of the people have been dismissed. It was very, very unfortunate. You're not going to find anything like that, but you're going to find a lot. And I've instructed him to go check out education, to check out the Pentagon, which is the military. And, sadly, you'll find some things that are pretty bad. But I don't think proportionally you're going to see anything like we just saw.
I think he's telling us that they fired 97% of USAID. They said there was 10,000 people working. I've heard numbers as high as 15,000. Maybe they're counting them slightly differently. 97%, probably that bigger number, gone. That's, wow. Maxine Waters, yeah, she's such a lowlife. It's kind of funny. But she is, again, demonstrating how she's got to get there and rile the troops up, and we're definitely seeing aspects of that in Los Angeles, which is kind of, I think, her neck of the woods. And, yeah, here we are. Here's a nice compilation.
Democratic lawmakers trying to get into the Department of Education earlier today.
Oh, I see the same ones. I see Maxine Waters, a lowlife. I see, all these people. They don't love our country. They don't love our country. We want great education. So they rank 40 countries in education. We're ranked dead last. But the good news is we're number one in one category. You know what that is? Cost per pupil. We spend more per pupil than any other country in the world. You look at Norway, Denmark, Sweden, various countries all up and down, Finland, China does very well in education. And then you look at us. We spend much more money than they do per pupil or any other way. But we spend much more money than they do, and yet we're ranked this year. Biden's last year, congratulations, Joe, we're ranked dead last. So what I want to see is education. Number one, I like choice. We all like choice. But beyond choice, long beyond choice, I want to see it go back to the states where great states that do so well have no debt. They're operated brilliantly. They'll be as good as Norway or Denmark or Sweden or any of the other highly ranked countries. They'll be, you probably have 35 to 38 states will be right at the top. And the rest will come along. They'll have to come along competitively. And by the way, we'll be spending a lot less money. And we'll have great education.
I think it's 100% on the money. And that he's talking about Waters. They were trying to bust into the Department of Education. Sorry, there's so many stories running through my head. And I've had to re-record this. It crashed again. It's starting to happen again. Elon Musk's agents have gained access to FEMA's sensitive disaster data. You can only imagine what is going to come from that and how much that's got to be freaking them out. Again, here's some of this the Doge derangement stuff that I was thinking of earlier, where there's a compilation. Pretty good stuff. Check it out.
That's not a point of order.
Elon Musk, we don't have a fourth branch of government called Elon Musk. Elon Musk.
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk wants the power to turn that on, to turn that off, as Elon Musk decides.
Fire Elon Musk.
We have got to tell Elon Musk nobody elected your ass. Lock him up. Lock him up. Lock him up. Lock him up. And Elon Musk, he is a low-down, dirty, no good person, along with Trump.
Go fuck yourself.
Elon Musk, he hasn't been elected to anything.
Go fuck yourself.
We cannot allow Elon Musk and a small group of people to secretly, behind closed doors, take away our privacy, take away our dollars, take away everything we have.
Yeah, what's this?
That's so cool. Anyway, yeah, and we can't allow Chuck Schumer to say more than 4 words at a time. We can't allow him to take away our freedoms, our liberties. Like, wait, it's so weird how Democrats talk. Cracks me up. Can't just talk. I don't know, whatever. President Trump signed an executive order Friday afternoon aimed at protecting the Second Amendment rights. Pam Bonnie's going to be looking into stuff that the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives has been doing. Their little ABC rules that people have to follow. He's going to go through those, find out which one of them are not constitutional, and yank them like they should be. We are undoing and prepared. That's the funny thing. We came in prepared. That's also one of the things that awesome article pointed out is how prepared this was going into it. We had 4 years. We knew what was happening. I think this has all been by the plan. All of it. I think we knew we were going to lose the election to Biden. I think that was part of the plan. Always. This is very interesting times. All I can say, because it's playing out perfectly. So yeah, FBI, what is this? Trump administration has agreed to keep private the list of the FBI people involved in January 6th, so they're not going to go spreading that. Don't go breaking anyone's hearts. That's pretty cool. Donald Trump truth this out. At my direction, we are going to make the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. great again. I've decided to immediately terminate multiple individuals from the board of trustees, including the chairman, who do not share our vision for a golden age in arts and culture. We will soon announce a new board with an amazing chairman, Donald J. Trump. He's the chairman now. Just last year, the Kennedy Center featured drag shows specifically targeting our youth. This will stop. The Kennedy Center is an American jewel and must reflect the brightest stars on the stage from all across our nation. For the Kennedy Center, the best is yet to come. How cool would it be if he started doing some sort of like weird government game show? Kind of scary because it's kind of like China does shit like that, but it's kind of cool. Trump truth this as well. There is no need for Joe Biden to continue receiving access to classified information. Therefore, we are immediately revoking Joe Biden's security clearances and stopping his daily intelligence briefings. He set this precedent in 2021 when he instructed the intelligence community to stop the 45th president of the United States, me, from accessing details on national security, a courtesy provided to former presidents. The Hur report revealed that Biden suffered from, quote, poor memory, end quote, and even in his prime could not be trusted with sensitive information. I will always protect our national security. Joe, you are fired. Make America great again. Want to also remind people of these two wonderful individuals. Well, we've got something fun going on with all the USAID money. We've come to find out that a lot of that was actually going to George Soros, and that George Soros, in fact, was using it to destroy our country. Clandestine posted this. The target of the USAID purge was George Soros. I think one of, but probably major. The USAID slush fund was how he financed his global left-wing influence machine. It's how he bought politicians, mainstream media, newspapers, radio shows, judges, prosecutors, etc. Elon and Trump just cut off the head of the snake in a major big way. We don't need to play this whole thing, but yeah, they're taking down the agency, USAID, their little agency of international development. They're taking it down. So here's before U.S. Agency for International Development. It's why a lot of people, I think, properly pronounce it as USAID, because AID, when you say aid, like USAID, it makes it sound like we're actually providing aid. But the reason I say no is Agency for International Development. It really never really was. I know it was supposed to be, but it wasn't. So I say AID in the standpoint that it's not aid. Anyway, it's blank. It's gone. C'est la vie. No mas. According to the Department of Government Efficiency, Uncle Sam had allocated a whopping $168,000 to build Fauci his own exhibit at the National Institute of Health Museum. Seriously, they were going to build an exhibit and they gave $168,000. Trump actually canceled that money. That's not happening. Here is the president of Rwanda talking about why he's okay with the fact that they're no longer getting U.S. aid, because maybe it's time for people to take care of their own business.
President Trump's unconventional ways of doing things, I completely agree with him on many things.
Even though it will hurt you as Rwanda, which depends on some U.S. aid to fund your health care and development.
I think from being hurt, we might learn some lessons to do things we don't do that we should be doing. This is why I'm saying, yeah, this aid thing, which I've never been a friend of it, much as I've been a beneficiary of it.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, we liked it, but we should be taking care of this stuff. This quote right here is really important. I'm going to play this whole thing out because it makes it make even more sense, and it's the actual individual's words. But remember in 2016 when a reporter in Haiti said, "Where is the money Hillary Clinton raised with the Clinton Foundation?" Haiti didn't get even 2%. They got not even 2%, which means 98% went to somewhere else. And a lot of that was USAID money. And that's obviously not good.
In 2010, the earthquake of Haiti, not only American taxpayers, but the whole world has given billions of dollars to the Clinton Foundation for the Haitians. Not even 2% of that money went back to Haiti. So, Mr. Trump, we are asking you, begging you, the Haitian community will side with you if one day you ask Hillary Clinton publicly to disclose the audit of all the money they have stolen from Haiti in 2010 after the earthquake. Haiti is a very poor country. Haiti needs defenders. You said you will champion our cause. We welcome you, sir, and we will work with you. But please, ask publicly Hillary Clinton, during your next debate, to publish the audit of all the money they have stolen from Haiti. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, and that's exactly what he just did. Like Kennedy said, he did what the American people wanted and asked for. I'm going to cancel. That one was really good, but if I don't think about it too long, it won't matter. It was really good. Yes, I want to remind you guys of your wellness. The Wellness Company is a great way to do one key thing. I mean, they've got really good stuff, and I actually am going to personally check out a couple of their supplements. What was the one I was looking for? I was wondering about bones. I know they got stuff for that, I think, right? Spike support, bison, restful, energy, elevated, sleep. Where's the ones? There's got to be one in here for bones. That's what I want to find. Just want to make sure I got enough calcium. I don't know. I don't drink milk. Maybe I should. I use it sometimes for soups and stuff. I mean, it's not like I'm, against it per se. I just don't drink it. A lot of people give us crap for the fact that we still drink milk when we're adults, but it is a weird source of a lot of stuff. But there's other ways to get those vitamins, whatever. They're powerful supplements that they have available, and you can check them out. There's some good stuff. But one thing I'm really, really fond of, and I talk about it all the time, and it's probably one of the reasons the Wellness Company wishes I'd do things differently. I want you guys to have something that matters. First off, they've got first aid kits and stuff. Highly recommend that. Everybody should have a good first aid kit. So if you don't have one, you should be hitting the first aid kit. They've also got travel ones. Recommend that if you travel a lot. But the contagion kit is the one that I feel like is the kind of the lifesaver. First off, Dr. Drew Pinsky, Dr. McCullum, they've been a part of the creation of this whole company. There's a number of doctors on the board, come to find out. So it is a great company that's doing the right thing. You're actually doing it legally and all that great stuff. It's powerful. They've got a lot of anti-parasitic and antiviral medications. They've got ivermectin, 25 tablets, hydroxychloroquine, 20 tablets, Z-Pak, the azithromycin, 12 tablets of that, another antibiotic, right, in that case. Antiviral agent, generic Tamiflu, they've got it. They got 10 tablets of those. They've also got budesonide. Budesonide is, it's like asthma people tend to use it. So if you're asthmatic, you're like, oh, I know exactly what that is. If you're not, it opens up your airways. It helps just kind of relax them so they open up, however it works out. But if you're having like a severe hard time breathing, you're going through a tough time, maybe with upper respiratory or something, it comes with a nebulizer and it comes with 5 of those vials. Like literally, this thing will get you through whatever. Now, here's the thing. You got like 2 years, too. If you use this, one of you gets sick. It's supposed to be for one person. That's what they claim. I think 2 could get by. But they say 1. And if you use it, then you get to get another one, a refill that's cheaper. So it's a reduced price to get a refill within 2 years. After that, you got to pay the full price. But again, it is a great way to consider. Go to twc.health, TWC, the wellness company, twc.health twc.health/OTF, twc.health/OTF. They've got healthy living, essential oils, immune mists. They've got vital care, talk to a doctor. They've got memberships. They've got ways to get off of, they've got longevity stuff, ivermectin, and this new mendabezolol parasite cleanse right here. I didn't even see this before. This thing's awesome. Look at this. Combine dual action forces to effectively and quickly treat parasitic infections in adults. 90 oral capsules, each containing 25 milligrams of ivermectin and 250 milligrams of the mebendazole, right? That one. Those are the two that you want. Oh, look at that. The gold standard, folks. Look at this. This is the one. I didn't know they had this. I might have to stop talking about the contagion kit. Almost. This is pretty powerful, folks. 90 capsules, too. That's going to get you through a lot. Seriously, go to twc.health/OTF, twc.health/OTF. Take control of your own health and your families or your immediate loved ones, because when the stuff hits the fan, my girlfriend got the virus, one of those crazy ones that was floating around recently. I actually kicked her down some Ivers, and I got them from where I got them, but it is, she was better very quickly. It works really well. I'm not into taking them every day. I don't know. I don't like taking stuff every day unless, like I said, supplements. Some stuff I think is good, but I try to eat better is generally the way I try to resolve my health issues. We'll see. A federal judge on Friday said he will pause a midnight deadline for the U.S. Agency for International Development to be stripped down to a few hundred workers. They're trying to slow down the firing, essentially. Whatever. They're not going to get that far, but they're trying to slow it down. The funding's already stopped, by the way, so don't think they're stopping that. They're not. He's stopping the funding. They can't do a whole lot about it. They're trying, but they can't. The federal judge is also ruling that Trump is going to have access to the Department of Labor. They were trying to get them to stop him from even being able to go in there, and the judge is like, no, there's no reason to do that. He's got clearance. He didn't say all this stuff, but again, he's got clearance. He's being told by the president to do this. So, no, I'm not going to play that game. Thank you. And I don't know if we just got lucky on a judge. President Trump dismissed the head of the National Archives. We sort of talked about this. She is not the best of people from what we understand. But yeah, she was a Biden person. White House Director of Presidential Personnel Sergio Gore said on X that National Archivist Colleen Shogan was dismissed Friday night. Some are saying she's not going, that he can't do this. In fact, I think this is what this is. Ezra Cohen points this out. He says, this is a great movie. Shogan was an opponent of transparency and public access to classified historical records. She systemically defunded efforts to reduce overclassification and increase declassification. Also, she showed a terrible bias against conservatives, as was revealed during her confirmation hearing. Not good, but still. Now, U.S. Federal Elections Commission, that's the FEC, their commissioner, Ellen Weintraub. Well, her termination letter from Donald J. Trump is a classic. Oh, she's the one that wouldn't leave. Sorry, don't they all look kind of dykey? I don't know. I don't mean that to sound as bad as it probably does. I don't care, frankly, but she does look kind of dykey to me. Anyway, doesn't matter. Oh, and she's refusing to leave her office, claiming her being fired is illegal. Federal Election Commission person, you are bye-bye. You are heading on out the door. And that's a beautiful thing. Oh, I'm almost under an hour. It'll be close. Okay, this is a cool part of the conference. You had the Japanese Prime Minister.
This was the first.
He needs to listen. Trump's got a thing in his ear, not being shot, thank God, but he's listening. And this Japanese guy is speaking in Japanese. Weird, right? Who does that? But he is so rude. But Trump is tripping on what he's saying, and it's pretty damn funny. Check it out.
This is the first time that I met with President Trump in person. So this was the first time meeting face to face. But for many, many years, I have watched him on television. So it was quite I was so excited to see such a celebrity on television, to see in person. On television, he is frightening, and he has a very strong personality. But when I met with him, actually, he was very sincere and very powerful and with strong will for the United States as for the whole world.
And big giant balls. I don't know if his I'm hoping that's his wife that's translating for him, because maybe he's worried that someone will F it up, right? And it's the only person he trusts or whatever is his one confidant. Or possibly that's Justin Trudeau speaking in the background. I don't know. Listen again for a quick second. You tell me.
First time that I met with President Trump in person.
It sounds like it could be Justin Castro. You're right. I don't know. Whatever. It might be him. It could be. Did I go to the right place? I did. Brazil's socialist president tells citizens not to buy expensive grocery items as food prices rise. Do you remember when Kamala and Biden were telling us not to buy things like meat and stuff because it's expensive? Get the bugs. They got the bug section. You should go down aisle bug. Aisle bug. It's the best bug section ever. It's right in the very middle of the store because it's nasty as hell. It's disgusting. Behind closed doors, Justin Trudeau says his threat to take over Canada is like open mic when this is, so it's kind of legit. Too legit to quit. He actually said, no, it's like kind of legit. Like Trump's actually literally got this weird possibility. He doesn't get into all the expletives, but implying this is possible. Wow, is mostly all I can say. This is just funny. I don't need to play this whole thing. I'm going to pause it, in fact, because what he says doesn't matter. What comes out of his face hole doesn't matter. But what's on the screen does. CNN, hang on. Oh, yeah, I'm not even on, so you can see that. You should turn me on, fucker. Obama bin Laden associate. Obama bin Laden associate. Now, they're saying it's a mistake. I mean, it is, I think, maybe, because Obama's not the name. Bin Laden's obviously different, right? Obama bin Laden shouldn't be, or who knows? Who knows? I don't know. I'm just being a little conspiratorial because I don't actually necessarily believe, but it's just, who knows? At this point, this movie's freaking weird. So yeah, Abu Zubaydah. Zubaydah. There should be an whatever. Shut up, Dan. All said. Yeah. Pentagon ejects WAPO, CNN, and a bunch of others. Politico, a whole bunch of people. They got rid of them. CNN, Washington Post, The Hill, The War Zone, Politico, NBC, NPR, The New York Times vacate their offices in the Pentagon. Get the fudge out. If you don't like what you see here, get the fudge out. That might actually be my next music show. I like Extreme. Yeah, so he's kicking all them out. He's going to make room for other people, probably like OAN. Certainly, he said Newsmax, stuff like that. Legitimate sources of information. Eventually, it will be Dan Radio style. But at the moment, we're working there. My whole thing is, my angle's a little different. It's kind of intentional. It's cool. Okay. You guys are the ground level. It's all awesome. I'm glad you're here. Inside Republicans plan to end the untouchable deep state, trying to tear down Trump. Yeah, it's going to be done for these guys. Republicans are working to end this deep state. And they are. I think I probably should read the rest of the story, but I think they were putting through some sort of, Congressman Ogles from Tennessee introducing the End the Deep State Act. I mean, some of this to me is stupid. This is people I think that want to get their names on bills that maybe will get in, but I don't know how well it's written. But again, it's cool, and I think a lot of people want to hear it. Trump's lawsuit against CBS expands. Since they edited, and there's proof they did, and they edited hugely, or bigly, sorry, let's use proper terms, they are now including Paramount, because Paramount streamed it on Paramount Plus. So they're going to be part of the how big was your audience? How many people saw this lie that you claimed was true? Trump is continuing to go at them. They were trying to settle. It doesn't seem like it's going to be allowed to happen. Carrie Lake's posting this. Looks like Ruben Gallego, the son of a Mexican cartel drug trafficker, and his buddy Alex Soros are hanging out together and could likely be in serious trouble. It seems like Tony Saruga, it should be like Segura, it feels like, but anyway, Saruga, he says he will be providing the DOJ with GPS in both of these. He's calling them twat waffle shit weasels. They had a meeting for hours, in the cartel leaders hundreds upon hundreds of times over the past 6 years. Hundreds of times seems a lot. It sounds like somebody's possibly saying things that maybe aren't 100% true. Carrie Lake, you might be getting had a little bit, especially when they're calling somebody a twat waffle. But, I mean, I don't disagree. He's got twat waffle written all over him, right? I mean, do you disagree? I think if there was a twat waffle out there, I'd be like, that's a twat waffle, unquestionably. Chinese tech giant quietly unveils advanced AI model amid battle over TikTok. Now, this is, I think, the biggest problem is people's lack of understanding of how bad it is to help China, to help CCP program their AI. They want to program their AI against the United States. The only way you can program the AI is to be a United States person using their thing that's AI, and it's using you and everything you do and learning from you. You're giving away state secrets by supporting these Chinese AI programs. I'm going to be very blunt. But again, the big picture will be fine. But this is, you're literally, you talk about everybody doing what's right for the big picture. You're literally helping the CCP. That's all I'm saying. Literally. No. Let's not get lost. Steven Spielberg has a new upcoming UFO movie coming out called Disclosure. Sometimes it writes itself. We've been talking about Disclosure. Disclosure's been in the news. I'm sure Cliff Hyde's bot has been looking for disclosure at many a times, right? Like it's happening May 15th, 2026. I wonder how cool it could be because, I mean, again, he did Close Encounters. He did E.T. Both were based off of real-life things. Allegedly. Sorry. I can't just say that for fact. Yeah, we actually got to the end. Oh, no, we didn't. Netanyahu suggests Palestine is where I got the picture that I sent on Twitter. You can tell me. I don't know. I thought the meme was funny. It wasn't really. I mean, it's not. I guess I could play it and show it here. It was on my Twitter. It's the only place I posted it. Where is it? Right here. Boom. Look at this. Not funny, but Michelle's thing is how long? Circumcised? Like, I mean, that was how I read it when I put it together. But yeah, that picture. This is where I stole it. Kind of cool. Saudis can create Palestinian state in Saudi Arabia. They have a lot of land over there. They're trying to figure out where the Palestinians can go. They want to have a state in Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia doesn't want them to have a. They want them to have a state there where Jerusalem is. I don't know. Yeah, I got a question I'm going to ask some of you guys at some point. It's not going to happen today, but from the biblical side, there's like a group in there that I keep thinking, I'm like, I feel like this is kind of related to this nowadays. It's what it feels like. But these are Google's thirstiest data centers. They're supposed to be local to the events that are happening. That's kind of what's significant about this. So Council Bluffs, Iowa, which might be a main center for national stuff, likely. Not that it's local to that area because 14 people live around that probably, so no. But 980 million gallons of water were used in 2023. Oh my God. I don't know if it necessarily has to be potable. It could be, but it doesn't need to be. Certainly, it could have parasites in there. We wouldn't care. They're about to get fried probably as they go through the... Not necessarily. I mean, it just depends how the cooling system's set up. It's inside the reactors where things are dangerous. Outside, they cool the outside mechanism with water, so the water itself doesn't get contaminated unless something horrible happens. But anyway, that's Council Bluffs, Iowa. They used a crap ton, which means they're generating a giant amount of power. Mayors County, Oklahoma, crap ton, slightly less, but $763 million for Berkeley County, South Carolina. These three are bar none above everybody else. Bar none. And then these next four kind of are too. So something serious going on in those with those data centers, probably being used with AI, I would assume at this point, and maybe other things. Not necessarily nefarious, but running giant-ass worldwide business things. Again, I thought I did that already. Okay, that's cool. I went around. I finished. Folks, I got to the end. It happens. And it was barely over an hour. Man, this was going to be so long if I didn't wait, or if I tried to do this tomorrow, plus the extra news that happens. Everything's happening. Trump's not taking days off, so I don't know. For a little while, maybe I'll be trying to not take days off a whole lot either. We'll see how it plays out. Again, the Houston trip coming up. That email I'll play it or show it again really quick, and apologize for those of you that don't care about it, but it's just going to be fun. If you can be in the Houston area anywhere that day, July 4th of this year, so our like 250th year or something like that. That's pretty cool. It's a big deal, and we're going to have a number of people that are actual Fringers. I'll be there. We will actually spend time. I'll get there early, meet and greet. I mean, it's not going to be anything like Scott McKay or anything like these people that are actually famous and stuff. Like, no, it'll just be like 1-on-1 or 1-on-4 or 1-on-10, whatever, 1-on-20. But it's going to be fun, and we're going to make the best of it, and we're going to have a lot of fun, and it's going to be fun meeting people in person. It kind of makes things real for me, by the way. A lot of times people are like, I know you on email, and I'm like, you're still in email. Like, I get crazy emails, trust me. So knowing somebody in person to me is like a big deal. So we're going to have that opportunity. So Houston area, July 4th, literally that night, because it's a Friday. So I'm going to be doing my music show. I'm going to try to make it a cool one, do a couple hours. If we get some volunteers with equipment, it might be extra special to be there. There was talks about a Zoom meeting that might be challenging to do now that I've thought about it a little again. I got to think about it more. But yeah, I mean, you could watch the Rumble show just like you normally might if you can't be there. So no big deal. We don't necessarily have to have a meeting that I have to try to maintain too, because that would almost interfere with the music thing. Maybe we do it leading into it. That's possible. So we'll talk about it. There's stuff we can think about. Just trying to make it fun and hopefully help some venue make some extra money that night as we enjoy ourselves with food and drink and all sorts of things. But on the Fringe around the nation at gmail.com. It does not go to me, by the way, so please don't act like it does. They're not going to send anything. If you ask them to, they won't. It's all about, are you going to be able to show up? If you can't, don't email them to tell them you can't. There's no reason for that. If you can, though, or think you would like to do this, let us know, because we're trying to figure out how many people we've got to deal with, like as far as how big a place, right? So check it out. Go to On the Fringe Around the Nation at gmail.com. Let us know if you want to be there, want to be a part of this, would be a part of this, and that'll help us in the big picture. And then we'll probably plan for a place that can accept a little more than what we're coming in with, and we'll see how it goes. I'm not planning on charging any money. Hopefully whatever you do, you can help out the restaurant. I'll probably even buy some appetizers and stuff, but we'll make it fun. And it's just meant to be a cool hangout, and hopefully we'll have a fun time. That said, On the Fringe Around the Nation at gmail.com. I'm looking forward to going, and we will be hanging out again. And it's like that shoulder to shoulder thing. It's just a cool place where, we can actually have an opportunity to change the world and talk about it a little bit, get a little time together. And it's fun because it's hard to do in my normal daily role. Let's be honest. All said, together, folks, we're doing this. You are the ripple makers. You are what's making this happen. I'm just some knucklehead talking to the microphone. Yeah, I mean, come on. What am I really doing? Stupid. All said, thank you for you guys. I love you guys, and I'm going to keep going with you. Where we go one, we go all. It's On the Fringe with Dan Radio Style.